Alright, I'm going to show you how to replace the screen of a A1211 Macbook Pro Core 2 Duo. I dropped my stereo on it a while ago. You can see a big dent there. So for this one, I'm going to have to actually take the whole screen off, and we'll see how to do that. So here we go. So first you want to flip it over and take the battery out. Do that by just pulling up on these two tabs here, and it should just pop right out. And then you're going to take your Phillips screwdriver, and there's a couple of screws. There's actually 3 of them. One right here, here, and here. You can pop those out. Okay, so now that the screws are out, the next thing you do is you're going to pull this out. You kind of lift up and then pull toward you, like that. And then just set this aside somewhere. And so now there's going to be a couple of screws. They're kind of hard to see. There's a screw right there. Let me get my finger out of the way. Screw right there and right there. And you're going to take those out. Got those screws out. There's also 4 screws right here on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go ahead and pull those out. Alright, these 2 screws, you're going to need a Torx screw. These right here and right here. Go ahead and take those out. Alright, now we're going to get these screws here on the side. There should be 4 of them. One right here, 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 and here. And then Phillips screwdrivers again. Okay, around the back here, there's a screw right here, and one right here. Take those out. Alright, and then finally on this other side, there's 4 other screws, just like on the other side. Take them out. So, flip MacBook around, open the screen up, and this part is a little tricky. You got to pull this off to start lifting up, but it's not going to be that easy, especially when you get around to the front. Now don't pull straight up, because there's going to be a cable under here and you don't want to rip it out. So just slowly kind of pry it out, and you might feel like you're breaking things, but just be careful. There's these little tabs that have to come up. You just kind of pull straight up and kind of away from you. There it goes. Alright, so let me lift this up and show you. There's that little thing. It popped out on mine because I've taken this away before, but it will be taped down. So I changed the camera so that you can kind of see what we need to pop out here. There are these little mini SMA connectors, and let's see if I can zoom in here and show you exactly what I'm looking at. There should be 3 little things right here, and you got to pull those off. I'm going to use one of these. Yep. Okay, I find it's easier if you kind of go from the wire side and pull up that way. Just be careful, you don't want to break them. I've got that wire, all 3 of those pulled off. Alright, you can see they're routed around this little clip here. Just go ahead and pull it out and kind of unroute the whole thing until you've got it kind of pulled up like this, so it's just coming straight out of the hinge. Alright, the next step, we're going to disconnect the eyesight cable. You'll see that there's some tape right here. Right here. Go ahead and pull that tape off, just be careful. Alright, so in order to get the eyesight cable, it's the very top one here. You'll see there's actually a series of cables that come out of the monitor. We need to get those all out. So you just kind of pull it, you're going to go to the left this way to pull it out. So now we're going to disconnect this other wire that's taped into it. You just need to get under it and lift it up. It doesn't slide out, it pops from the top. So there it is. Alright, and just pull that out. It's kind of taped down there. Just pull it away. And there you go. So now you've got these wires completely free. So the next step is to unplug the monitor. The monitor cable is this cable right here. And you're just going to pull it straight out. Away from you, like that. Okay. And then just unstring it. Here's a silver Torx screw right here. It's this screw right here. You gotta unscrew that one. you can go ahead and see that the monitor cable is free. You'll notice there's going to be 3 screws we're going to undo. And before you do this, make sure you're supporting the monitor because it will come off now. So there's a screw. There's a screw right there. And then there's 2 screws on the other side. 2 screws right there. And they're the Torque screws. One thing to notice about these screws, 2 of them are going to look like this, where the thread is only going about a quarter of the way up the screw. And the other one has threads going all the way up the screw. So just make sure you remember that when you're putting this back together, that there is a difference. Okay, so now you should just be able to lift the screen straight up and off of the laptop. And the next thing, we need to take 2 screws off. There's a screw right there on the bottom, and then there's one on the other side. Go ahead and take those out. Phillips screws. Okay, for this next step, it's a little bit more tricky than just pulling screws out. You're going to get a tool like this that you can kind of pry away with, and you're going to get between the little rubber part here and the screen here. Let me show you. You can get between the rubber part and the screen here, and you're going to work along the top, and then you're going to do it on the other side. And it's easiest to just kind of push it in like so and kind of pull that away. I'm going to switch to actually a metal tool. It seems like the plastic tool isn't doing the job. There's little clips in here, and you'll hear them kind of click off when you do this right. Alright, and now that we've done the sides, we just get to do it here on the end here, on both sides here. Same procedure, but it should separate the rear bezel from the screen if we do this right. So be ready to catch it. Okay, so I popped it off, so you should be able to just kind of lay it flat here and just lift it off. And there you go. The next step is to peel the tape off. There's a couple of pieces of tape. There's a piece of tape right here and a piece of tape right here, and just go ahead and peel it off. Okay, now some more tape we gotta take off. Take off the tape there for the display connector, and then there's some tape here. It might be capped on tape, it might be this black tape. Go ahead and take those 2 pieces off too. Alright, there's some more pieces of capped on tape. Just go ahead and take all of them off. Okay, now this is a pretty difficult one. You got to get these 3 things off of this, but don't destroy them. And it's very strong adhesive, so an edging tool is very helpful. Alright, so while I was doing this, I actually ripped some of the copper tape. Now that's not a problem because I'm going to be replacing the screen anyway, but you want to get the tape, the copper tape off of this adhesive strap. Now you can see that all 3 pieces are separated completely. Alright, now we're going to peel the camera off, camera strap here. It's kind of taped on here on the phone. Just carefully pull it off. You want to be careful because it's soldered onto the board here, and you really don't want to pull it off. You're going to pull it off all the way until you get to the connector right here. Before you peel it off, there's a little zip connector right here, and we need to flip the little bar. And be very careful, you don't want to break it. Okay, now we've freed the camera, so we can pull it out of the way. Alright, finally we need to get this last wire out here. It's this display wire. You should just pull straight away, like that. And some more screws. There's some black Phillips screws. Here, 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 and here. Let's go ahead and pull those out. Okay, when you get those screws done, there's 4 more on the other side. Take them out. And now for one of the hardest parts. In fact, I think the hardest part. We've got to pull the screen out, and it's actually glued in there. So you'll just have to kind of pry it off. I've heard that using a heat gun makes this easy, but I don't have one, so we'll see how this goes. There's a little tab here. Try to put your tool in there and just kind of pull it up. Okay, you can hear that. I'm pushing a little hard, but it's not too bad. And thankfully, I don't really care about saving the screen because it's shot. Okay, so you can see I've got it started to separate. Just got to get this bottom part done. Okay, so we've got this. You can't pull the whole thing out just yet. You're going to want to make sure that the adhesive is loose here in the front. But you can't, again, like I said, you can't pull it out just yet. Near the bottom here, there's a steel strip. You'll see it. You want to just separate that with the tool to try to get the screen off. Got it. Okay. Now we can't pull the whole thing out yet because there's still a wire there. It's these pink wires. There's this connection here that goes to a board. And just pull that out of the board. Grab by the wire here. Lift up this little board here and just pull it out. And there you go. Pull the screen off. Alright, here we go. So here's my new screen. Alright, so just pull the protector off before you install it. And place the screen in. And there you go. Reverse everything, put it back together, and you've got a new screen.